which is cyberbullying. What is it and how to stop it? Our good friends at Caller Smart reached out to us this past week to talk about cyberbullying. I mean, it's so important, nowadays with everyone with their mobile devices. Um, cyberbullying itself affects countless teens and adolescents. Just a 2015 random sample study of 11 to 15-year-olds in the Midwest found over 34% reported being a victim of cyberbullying in their lifetime. 34% of children between the ages of 11 to 15. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Other studies have found that in 1 of 4 teens have been cyberbullied. Victims of cyberbullying are much more likely to use alcohol and drugs, avoid school, and have poor grades, experience depression and low self-esteem, and may even contemplate suicide. Some serious stuff, So you got to ask yourself, for anyone that had blinders on for the past, I don't know how many years, what is cyberbullying? I mean, and it's a very broad term, and it's basically any form of abuse repeatedly directed at a child through technology by another child. I mean, this could be an online, through social media like Facebook, or via text messages on their mobile phones. Some of the forms that cyberbullying can take can include many different things. Sharing and posting videos or photos on social media of a person that are cruel or in intention or violent all along. Sharing or posting videos or photos on social media via text that are sexual in nature or display violent sexual behavior. Making threats of physical harm towards a person or telling someone to kill themselves in email, text, or social media. And it seems like nowadays that's more the commonplace. I mean, there's all different types of bullying that happens all during the day, all during our walks of life. Attacking a person online or via text based on their physical appearance, religion, sexuality, or mental ability. Impersonating another person online in order to trick someone into revealing personal details and then sharing it with others. Hacking into another person's social media account or email in order to send untrue and cruel messages to others. I think we hit it dead on right there. I mean, it seems like nowadays there isn't a time where someone isn't getting hacked. There isn't a time where, what was originally happening to, third-party companies that are attached to these big companies. So like when you hear a Target was hacked, it's per se not Target being hacked, but it's a third-party provider that's like a middleware that connects to a specific company and, reveals its personally identifiable information. With 92% of teens reporting going online at least once a day, and 24% stating that they are online constantly, the amount of potential exposure to cyberbullying is high. Unlike bullying, cyberbullying can be unrelenting and seem inescapable since it is online and on phones. It can happen at any time of the day. And it follows preteens and teens home after school and is often completely anonymous. Cyberbullies can create fake social media profiles and download apps that provide temporarily disposable numbers that allow them to send threatening text messages without the victim knowing the identity of the attacker. So you take a great product like Google Voice, which will allow you to spoof the specific number. So what, everyone knows, let's say my number, or like, let's say if my wife wanted to play a prank on me, she can go to Google Voice, associate her existing number with kind of like a ghost number out there, and play a prank without me even knowing. That tool itself, very dangerous. I mean, very helpful, because I can tell you, for one, I use Google Voice. Why? Because I need to know, who's calling me, number one, and I need to know what number. So let's just say if I had one phone, and one phone that I use for family primarily, I don't know if I want to give out that same number to, people I interact with online, or do I give them that ghost number that I can attach to the account and then kind of take it from there? So, I mean, that's a benefit to using that type of technology, but there's a lot of bad behind it. In addition to, the messages being ghosted or hidden, images and videos can also spread very quickly via social media and group text messages. Once the information is shared, it's impossible to delete all the occurrences of it, since it's probably already been downloaded by individuals and repeatedly uploaded. So true. Girls are much more likely, here's some facts about cyberbullying. Girls, 40.6%, are much more likely to be victims of cyberbullying than boys. So that's 40% to 28%. There's slightly a shade under 29%. Girls also dominate social media, while boys tend to play video games. I can tell you, number one, I have a 14-year-old daughter who's on social media all the time, versus my son, who's, yes, he's only 9 years old, but he spends every chance he can get on his video game, on the Xbox One. And/or he spends, on time, kind of like the gaming sites, where not per se, more like esports he's interested in. Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat are the top 3 popular social media platforms for teens. Facebook has created a bully prevention hub to help teens, parents, and educators stop cyberbullying on the site. Bullying and cyberbullying are closely related. Children who are victims of traditional bullying in school also experience cyberbullying at home. Children who bully traditionally will also bully children on social media and with text messages. In a random sample study, over 14% admitted to cyberbullying another person, with spreading rumors online via text or email being the most common form of bullying. A study from McAfee found that 87% of teens have observed cyberbullying, over 70% of teens have a smartphone, and 15% at least have a basic cell phone, making a text message one of the most common means of cyberbullying. Some cyberbullying laws. Each state has different laws and policies regarding bullying. However, there's no federal anti-bullying law at the moment. Of the 50 states that have anti-bullying laws, 23 states include the terms cyberbullying. 48 states include the definition of electronic harassment in their anti-bullying laws. The only state that does not require schools to have anti-bullying policy is Montana. Of the 49 states that have mandatory school anti-bullying policies, 14 states have mandatory off-campus anti-bullying policies as well. There's sexting laws that are out there. Think about it, as of last summer, only 20% of the states had sexting laws in place. It's not their fault, and that how they are being treated is not right. You got to report that offensive behavior. Most social media sites like Facebook and Instagram have made it easy to report posts that are inappropriate. To protect yourself from cyberbullying, you need to be careful with what you share online about yourself. Nowadays, everyone has a need to share everything. It's been like that the last, I would say, last 5 years or so, but at an all-time high now. If you share openly professional information publicly and even privately via text or private message a person that could use it against you in the future. Don't let other people use your smartphone since it contains personal information and people access your social media accounts from it. Preteens and teens usually won't share what's happening to them with their parents, so it's important for the parent to pay attention. You got to pay attention to any changes in your child's attitude and talk about the effects of bullying and what to do. Even if you don't think your child is the victim, they could be seeing cyberbullying every day. More importantly, if you're a parent, what can the question that I usually receive the most is for a parent, like, what should they do if their child is being cyberbullied? Tell your child that you love them, make them feel safe and supported in their home life. Talk with them and listen to what's happening to them. And encourage them to ignore and block the cyberbullying and not to retaliate. If the problem continues, help your child collect evidence, discuss reporting the cyberbully to school authorities, go over setting up stronger privacy settings in social media, and make sure they know how to report posts that they find hurtful and cruel. Don't let your emotions get the better of you. Hearing that your child is being tormented can inspire a range of emotions. Your overall emotional reactions, one of them being anger. So you got to make sure to be thoughtful and a good listener. Don't react quickly. This will only create more confrontation and problems. If your child is a cyberbully, now, personally, my son isn't a cyberbully, but I've seen him bully, others in school, and you got to address it. You got to address it because the first thing you're going to see is, as a parent, there's that level of denial. So if your child is a cyberbully, it could be because they were, at one point they were bullied themselves, either in person or over the internet. Talk to them about what they're doing and how they're hurting people. Make sure that they understand the severity of their actions. Talk to them about why they are doing, what they're doing, and listen to them. Don't react out of anger. Monitor their online and phone behavior to make sure that they are not continuing this type of behavior. If the problem persists and it does not seem like it's an isolated offense, involve your school authorities in order to show your child that this is a major problem. Worst comes to worst, you may want to seek professional counseling to help your child overcome their problem. To prevent cyberbullying from happening, keep the family computer in a public area where you spend a good deal of time. Encourage offline time with your family. Try to have everyone disconnect for an extended period of time every evening. This could include having a family dinner or practicing some shared hobbies together. Have open conversations with bullies and cyberbullying. Discuss why it's wrong and what your child should do if they see it. Make sure your child knows how to maintain their digital reputation and know how not to share personal information that they wouldn't want to make public to anyone. You got to discuss how to use privacy settings and talk about how to block unwanted content and text messages. Teens can report offensive posts, images, and videos to the social media company, and they can report and block harassing numbers in a community phone book. So for more information on preventing cyberbullying and what to do if you're experiencing cyberbullying, go to connectsafely.org, and the Cyberbullying Research Center has many resources for teens, parents, and educators.
Hello.